and replace those lies with your truth, because your truth brings peace. Your truth brings healing. Your truth brings life back into exhausted hearts. Father, please calm every anxious thought moving through my mind right now. Slow down the overthinking, quiet the panic, silence the emotional chaos happening inside me, and let your presence become louder than fear. Lord, there are moments where negative thoughts completely drain my energy. Moments where I become emotionally tired before the day even begins. Moments where my own mind feels unsafe. But tonight, I pray that your peace changes that. Please remind me that I am not what fear says about me. I am not what anxiety says about me. I am not what hopelessness whispers to me in the dark. I belong to you, and your voice speaks peace over my life. Father, for every person listening to this prayer right now, please comfort them deeply tonight. The ones trapped in negative thinking, the ones emotionally exhausted from self-doubt, the ones silently battling anxiety and fear every single day. Please stay close to them tonight. Let this prayer become a safe place, a place where fearful minds can finally breathe again, a place where emotional wounds begin healing slowly, a place where lies lose their power and truth begins restoring peace. Father, as this prayer continues tonight, let every negative thought become weaker. Let every anxious lie lose its power, and let your peace slowly fill every corner of this room tonight. Father, tonight I bring every negative thought into your presence, every fearful thought, every anxious lie, every cruel voice inside my mind that keeps telling me I'm not enough. Because honestly, Lord, sometimes those thoughts feel overwhelming. They follow me during the day, they follow me at night, and little by little, they drain my peace. Sometimes I hear those thoughts so often that I start believing them. Believing I will never heal, believing I will never change, believing I will always feel emotionally exhausted. But tonight, I refuse to keep believing lies about myself, because your voice speaks differently. Your voice speaks peace. Your voice speaks healing. Your voice speaks hope into broken and exhausted hearts. Father, please help me recognize the difference between fear and truth, because anxiety speaks loudly, fear speaks constantly. Negative thoughts repeat themselves over and over again. But your presence brings calmness. Your truth brings clarity. And tonight, I desperately need both. Lord, please silence every thought that is destroying my peace. The thoughts telling me I always fail. The thoughts telling me nobody cares. The thoughts telling me I will never get better. The thoughts telling me I'm too broken to heal. Father, those thoughts are exhausting my soul, and I cannot carry them anymore. So tonight, I place every one of them into your hands. Every insecurity, every hidden fear, every painful memory feeding my anxiety, I surrender it all to you. Because your truth is stronger than my overthinking. Your peace is stronger than panic, and your love is greater than every lie attacking my mind tonight. Father, there are moments where negative thoughts make me feel emotionally trapped, like no matter how hard I try, my mind keeps returning to darkness, returning to fear, returning to hopelessness. But tonight, I pray that your light enters every dark place inside me. Shine light into every fearful thought. Shine light into every emotional wound. Shine light into every lie I've been believing about myself, and replace darkness with peace. Father, please teach my heart how to rest in truth again. Truth that says I am loved. Truth that says I am not abandoned. Truth that says healing is still possible. Truth that says my story is not over. Because anxiety constantly tries to convince me that nothing will ever improve. But tonight, I choose to trust your voice instead of fear. I choose faith instead of panic. I choose peace instead of emotional chaos. Father, for every person listening right now whose thoughts have been attacking them relentlessly, please comfort them deeply tonight. The ones emotionally exhausted from self-doubt, the ones silently battling hopelessness, the ones secretly struggling to believe good things about themselves anymore. Please stay close to those hearts tonight. Remind them that fear does not define them. Remind them that anxiety is not their identity. Remind them that your love is greater than every battle happening inside their mind. Lord, please remove every heavy atmosphere from this room tonight, every fearful emotion, every anxious cycle, every destructive thought pattern. Replace it all with calmness. Let peace settle over this room. Let peace settle over this heart. Let peace settle over this exhausted mind. And Father, when negative thoughts try returning later tonight, please remind us of this moment. Remind us that thoughts are not always truth. Remind us that fear often lies loudly. And remind us that your voice still speaks peace over our lives. Father, thank you for staying close to us tonight. Thank you for understanding emotional pain. Thank you for bringing comfort into exhausted hearts. Thank you for reminding us that healing is still possible. And if you're praying with me tonight, subscribe to this channel so we can continue seeking God's peace together every night. And in the comments, write, "I choose God's truth," as a declaration that fear and negative thoughts will not control your mind anymore. Father, as this prayer continues tonight, let every anxious lie lose its strength. Let every fearful thought become quieter, and let your truth completely fill our hearts with peace tonight. Father, tonight, I ask you to free my mind from every thought that has been stealing my peace, every fearful thought, every anxious cycle, every lie that keeps replaying inside my head until I feel emotionally exhausted. Because sometimes, Lord, my mind feels like a battlefield. One moment I feel calm. The next moment, fear completely takes over my thoughts again. And honestly, it becomes tiring. Tiring to constantly fight overthinking. Tiring to battle self-doubt. Tiring to carry emotional heaviness that nobody else fully understands. But tonight, I believe your presence is stronger than all of it. Stronger than fear. Stronger than anxiety. stronger than every negative voice attacking my mind. Father, please quiet every storm happening inside me tonight. The storm of insecurity, the storm of panic, the storm of hopeless thoughts, the storm of emotional exhaustion that keeps draining my strength. Lord, sometimes fear speaks so loudly that it becomes difficult to hear peace anymore. It tells me I'm failing. It tells me nothing will improve. It tells me I will always feel this way. But tonight, I reject those lies, because your truth speaks differently over my life. Your truth says I am loved. Your truth says I am not abandoned. Your truth says healing is still possible. And your truth says this battle will not last forever. Father, please help me stop believing every fearful thought that enters my mind. Not every thought deserves my attention. Not every fear deserves my energy. Not every anxious voice deserves my trust. So tonight, teach me to rest in your truth instead of my fear. Teach me to pause before panic takes over. Teach me to breathe deeply again, because anxiety has made my soul tired. It has stolen joy. It has stolen calmness. It has stolen peaceful nights. But tonight, I pray that your peace begins restoring everything fear tried to take from me. Father, for every person listening right now whose mind constantly attacks them, please stay close to them tonight. The ones trapped in overthinking, the ones emotionally overwhelmed by life, the ones silently exhausted from negative thoughts. Please give those people rest tonight. Real rest, mental rest, emotional rest, spiritual rest, the kind of rest that only your presence can bring. Father, when negative thoughts try returning later tonight, please interrupt them with peace. Interrupt fear with truth. Interrupt panic with calmness. Interrupt hopelessness with comfort. And remind us that thoughts are not always reality, because fear often lies loudly, but your voice brings life. Your voice brings healing. Your voice brings peace into exhausted hearts. Father, please let this room become peaceful tonight. Let every anxious atmosphere disappear. Let every fearful emotion soften. Let every restless thought become quiet. And let your presence fill every corner of this night. Lord, thank you for not abandoning us during our darkest mental battles. Thank you for understanding emotional exhaustion. Thank you for bringing comfort into wounded hearts. And thank you for reminding us tonight that peace is still possible. Father, as this prayer continues, let every fearful thought lose its power. Let every anxious lie become weaker, and let your peace completely take over this night. Father, tonight, I place every wounded thought before you, every fearful memory, every painful insecurity, every anxious thought that keeps repeating itself inside my mind. Because sometimes, Lord, the hardest pain to explain is emotional pain, the kind of pain people cannot see, the kind of battle hidden behind silence, the kind of exhaustion caused by constantly fighting your own thoughts. And honestly, Father, sometimes I feel tired of battling my own mind, tired of overthinking every situation, tired of doubting myself, tired of hearing negative thoughts repeat over and over again inside my head. But tonight, I believe you are bringing healing into those dark places, healing into exhausted thoughts, healing into emotional wounds, healing into the parts of me fear has been attacking for far too long. Father, please remove every lie that has been shaping the way I see myself, every lie saying I'm not enough, every lie saying I always fail, every lie saying nobody truly cares about me. Those thoughts are not from you, and tonight I reject them completely, because your voice speaks truth, your voice speaks peace, your voice brings healing over wounded hearts. Father, please teach me how to speak to myself with grace again, because anxiety has made me harsh with myself, fear has made me critical of myself, and emotional exhaustion has made me forget my own value. But tonight, remind me that I am still loved by you, still seen by you, still held by you, even during anxious seasons. Lord, there are people listening tonight who secretly feel emotionally broken, people carrying invisible wounds, people smiling outside while silently struggling inside, people exhausted from pretending they are okay. Father, please comfort those hearts tonight. Let them feel emotionally safe in your presence, and remind them that they do not need to hide their pain from you, because you already see everything. You see every silent breakdown, every hidden tear, every moment anxiety made them feel hopeless, and even then, you stayed beside them. Father, please calm every anxious mind listening right now, the minds constantly racing, the minds trapped in fear, the minds overwhelmed by negative thinking. Please bring stillness into those thoughts tonight. Bring calmness into emotional chaos. Bring peace into exhausted hearts. Lord, sometimes fear convinces us that we will always feel this way, that healing will never come, that peace will never return. But tonight, I reject those lies again, because you are still restoring people, still healing hearts, still calming anxious minds, still bringing light into emotional darkness. Father, please help us stop agreeing with destructive thoughts. Help us stop repeating lies about ourselves. Help us stop allowing fear to become louder than truth. And instead, help us hear your voice more clearly. The voice that says we are loved. The voice that says we are not abandoned. The voice that says we are still worthy of peace. Father, please let this room become deeply peaceful tonight. Let every fearful atmosphere disappear. Let every anxious emotion soften. Let every restless thought finally slow down. And let your presence become stronger than every negative voice attacking this mind tonight. Lord, for the person listening now who feels emotionally exhausted beyond words, please hold them close tonight. Remind them that they are not failing. They are simply tired. Remind them that healing takes time, and remind them that you are still fighting for them, even during the nights they feel weak. And if you're still praying with me tonight, leave a comment saying, "God is healing my mind," as a declaration of peace and restoration over your life tonight. Father, as this prayer continues tonight, let every negative thought lose its strength. Let every anxious lie become quieter, and let your peace completely surround us tonight. Father, Tonight, I feel your peace slowly entering places inside me that fear once controlled. The anxious thoughts are becoming quieter. The emotional heaviness is beginning to soften, and little by little, my heart feels safer in your presence. Father, thank you for staying with me through this night. Thank you for not abandoning me during my darkest mental battles. Thank you for understanding the exhaustion that comes from fighting negative thoughts every day. Because sometimes, Lord, people only see the outside version of us. They see the smile, the routine, the responsibilities, but they do not see the battle happening inside the mind. They do not see the overthinking, the self-doubt, the emotional exhaustion caused by constantly hearing negative thoughts. But you see it all, and tonight you are bringing peace into those hidden places. Father, please continue healing my mind. Heal the part of me that constantly expects disappointment. Heal the part of me that struggles to believe good things about myself. Heal the part of me that became emotionally tired from fear and anxiety. Because negative thoughts have stolen enough peace already. They have stolen enough sleep, enough joy, enough emotional energy. But tonight, I believe restoration is beginning. Deep restoration, mental restoration, emotional restoration, spiritual restoration. The kind of healing that only your presence can bring. Father, please teach me how to rest in truth again. Truth that says I am loved. Truth that says I am valuable. Truth that says I am not abandoned. Truth that says my life still has purpose. Because fear constantly tries to convince me otherwise. Fear tells me I am failing. Fear tells me I will never heal. Fear tells me nothing will ever change. But tonight, I choose to believe your voice instead. Your voice brings peace. Your voice brings calmness. Your voice brings life into exhausted hearts. Father, for every person listening tonight who feels emotionally overwhelmed, please comfort them deeply. The ones silently battling negative thoughts, the ones mentally exhausted from overthinking, the ones emotionally drained from carrying invisible pain. Please let them feel safe in your presence tonight. Lord, there are people listening now who have spent years criticizing themselves internally, years speaking harshly to themselves, years believing lies about their worth. And slowly, those thoughts wounded their hearts deeply. But tonight, Father, I pray that healing begins inside those wounds. Replace self-hatred with compassion. Replace fear with peace. Replace hopelessness with comfort. And replace emotional exhaustion with rest. Father, please let every person listening tonight feel their breathing becoming slower, their thoughts becoming calmer, their heart becoming lighter, their soul becoming quieter, because your peace is settling over this room right now, and fear is slowly losing its power. Father, when negative thoughts return again later, please remind us of your truth. Remind us that fear often lies loudly. Remind us that thoughts are not always reality. And remind us that your peace is still stronger than every battle happening inside our minds. Lord, thank you for protecting us tonight. Thank you for calming anxious hearts. Thank you for restoring exhausted minds. Thank you for bringing light into emotional darkness. And as this prayer continues tonight, let peace speak louder than fear. Let truth speak louder than anxiety. And let your presence completely fill every part of this night. Father, as this prayer slowly comes to an end tonight, I pray that your peace remains deeply inside our hearts. Not temporary peace, not fragile peace, but lasting peace. The kind of peace that quiets negative thoughts. The kind of peace that calms anxious minds. The kind of peace that gently carries exhausted souls into rest. Father, thank you for staying with us tonight. Thank you for understanding every hidden battle. Thank you for seeing the pain we could never fully explain to anyone else. And thank you for reminding us tonight that fearful thoughts do not define us. Negative thoughts do not own us. Anxiety does not control our future, because your truth is greater than every lie fear speaks. Father, please let this truth stay inside our hearts tonight. When fear tries returning, remind us that we are loved. When anxiety becomes loud again, remind us that we are safe with you. When negative thoughts attack our minds, remind us that your peace is still surrounding us. Lord, please protect every person listening tonight while they sleep. Protect their thoughts, protect their emotions, protect their heart from hopelessness and fear. Cover this room with peace. Let this atmosphere become calm, still, quiet, safe in your presence. Father, for the person listening right now whose mind has been exhausted for a very long time, please let tonight become different. Let overthinking finally slow down. Let emotional pressure finally soften. Let self-doubt finally lose its power. And let deep, peaceful rest finally arrive. Father, replace mental chaos with calmness. Replace fear with comfort. Replace anxiety with peace. Replace emotional heaviness with rest. And as sleep slowly comes tonight, let your presence remain beside us, comforting us, protecting us, watching over us through the entire night. Father, thank you for every moment of healing happening right now. Thank you for calming fearful thoughts. Thank you for restoring emotionally exhausted hearts. Thank you for speaking truth into wounded minds. And thank you for never abandoning us during anxious seasons. Lord, before this prayer ends tonight, I pray that every person listening now feels deeply surrounded by your peace, the kind of peace that reaches the deepest emotional wounds, the kind of peace that silences fearful thoughts, the kind of peace that reminds tired hearts they are still loved. Father, please let tomorrow feel lighter. Let tomorrow feel calmer. Let tomorrow feel more hopeful. And when fear tries speaking again, help us remember this moment tonight, the moment your peace became stronger than anxiety, the moment truth became stronger than lies, the moment exhausted hearts finally began resting again. And if this prayer helped calm your heart tonight, subscribe to this channel so we can continue praying together every night and growing stronger in God's peace and truth. And before you sleep tonight, leave a comment saying, "God's truth gives me peace," as a declaration of healing and faith over your life tonight. Father, we place every thought into your hands, every fear, every burden, every anxious emotion. We surrender it all to you tonight. And as we close our eyes now, Let your peace remain with us until morning comes. In Jesus' name, amen.